I've been thinking about Destiny a lot lately, having some discussions about it on Twitter, venting some frustrations. I was thinking about the core grind in Destiny. Every RPG has some sort of grind, every MMO has a grind, that's what they're built on. Usually to some sort of gear level or character level. So what's the grind in Destiny? I think most would say hitting 400 light is the main grind. Maybe hunting all of the exotics, that's a little bit of a grind, but not really if you're a long-term player and because 3 of coins are a thing. Grimoire grind, no one really cares about that too much since it doesn't do anything for you, but it is also sort of a grind. Every time I want to make a video about why Destiny is so slow right now, I just end up coming back to the same issue: horizontal progression. I've said it 100 times by now, or it feels like 100 times. There's very little horizontal progression. Doesn't matter what topic I want to try to discuss. Why the slow removal of many RNG-based things has been dropping players' desires to play. Why the game being too generous is causing people to stop playing. It literally doesn't matter what I talk about, it all loops back to a very lackluster 400 light world. Grinding for a Matador is not progression. Leveling up factions for packages, not really progression. Progression basically stops at light level 400 and not much else matters. And the worst part is that 400 light is not required for anything in the game at all. If you want to argue that you need it for Iron Banner and Trials, fine, go ahead. But in PvE, the highest you ever need to reach is 390. To which I would say, if there's no point in getting 400 light for any activities, why even grind for it in the first place? Now, here's the part where you say, or I say to myself, since I'm just talking to myself, well, Datto, what's the point of any grind game if all you do is grind so that you can grind more? And that's a very good point, because that's what grind games are. The difference is that in a lot of other games, it takes so long and so much effort to actually reach the peak of the grinds that it's not as bad of an issue, at least compared to Destiny, which has a terribly short grind, which isn't really that difficult either. Anyone can hit 400 light in Destiny and do it pretty quickly in terms of in-game time investment. I understand that if you can only play for 18 minutes every third Wednesday, that it'll take a lot of real-life time for you, but in-game, it probably won't, contrary to many other games. We're gonna do everyone's favorite thing and talk about World of Warcraft. Hooray. The newest expansion, which came out at the end of August 2016, introduced something called artifact weapons. Artifact weapons have traits on them that require artifact power in order to buy them. These traits enhance your damage, your healing, or your tanking capabilities. There are 54 total traits to buy on a weapon. The world first 54 trait weapon didn't happen for about 3.5 months. So the most hardcore player in the world, I guess at the time, leveled one of their character's 3 possible weapons in 3.5 months. If that player kept that pace, it would take just about under a year to level all 3 weapons on one class. However, it does get easier to level up your current class and alternate classes, especially now. There are 11 classes in the game. Now, I'm not advocating for something like this to be copy-pasted into Destiny, but this is a system designed so that every time you log in, you are going to make progression towards something. Even games like Diablo 3, lots of grinding there, but you feel really powerful at those max levels, and you continually use the gear that you have to try to get to a higher power level, and the game continues to show how much you have grinded, showing your time investment. Even a game like Final Fantasy X, one of my favorite games, had an intense post-game experience after beating the main story. Powerful celestial weapons, crazy monster arena bosses, dark aeons to go fight. There was a lot of grinding to do. Destiny's grind comes to a screeching halt after you become about as powerful as you'll ever become. Now, all games have power caps, a level where you simply can't become stronger. But they also have activities that allow you to test yourself at those power levels and beyond. And it is not that easy to hit those max power levels in other games, whereas in Destiny, it's very easy to hit that level. You can get up to 400 light in Destiny, but there aren't any activities that allow you to push the limits of your gear or your abilities. Again, If you want to argue PvP stuff, fine, but the highest PvE enemy is 390. In a game as brief as Destiny, where you can level up to 400 light by no-lifing Iron Banner for a week, and mind you, you don't even need to be good to do that, I think it kind of sucks that there's no 400 light horizontal progression. I don't think simply hitting 400 light should be the end of progression, or rather, going into the future, hitting the light cap should not be the end of progression. It should be more of a midway point. If it is going to be the end, it should have a deeper time or skill investment. It should take us a little bit longer to get there. No, I'm not talking Vault of Glass level 30 style, because that was way too reliant on RNG for such a significant power increase, and there was, again, no horizontal progression there. I can't use any of this awesome gear or power for anything else. Certainly not using raid gear in PvP if I have any PvP armor. I can't unlock anything else. I can't do 400 plus light strikes. I can't do 400 plus light raids. There's nothing to push the boundaries. You just gear up incredibly fast, and then it's just over. I realize to a lot of people that me saying the grind should be longer sounds insane, I know. But there's a reason why some grinds are as long as they are. It's to keep people occupied. To have something to look forward to make sure you have a sense of accomplishment every single time you log into the game. How many of you have stopped playing because you ran out of things to do? I'm willing to bet it's a lot. How many of you would have continued to play if it took a little bit longer to hit that absolute max power level? Or if there were other things to grind for after you hit light 400, alternate playlists, weapon skins, emblems, etc. I feel like quite a few of you would continue to play. Now, if you still enjoy the game on its own merit, and you're a much older player especially, then congrats. I mean that. It's great to just enjoy the game for the game itself. But for a lot of people, they need that motivation, whatever it is, and adding stuff to the post-400 light world of Destiny is a good place to start. Not to mention that you'd think Bungie would be doing more to keep people playing the game by adding more motivations, and technically they have over the past 2.5 years, but they've never really added anything for people at max light to continue their progression in the game. And again, the reason I think that's an issue is because the grind is so short, because Bungie has just been throwing loot at people in every way imaginable and not giving anyone anything to do with said loot at the higher level. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Does the grind need to slow down? Is it in a good spot right now and it just needs more content surrounding it, etc., etc.? If you enjoyed the video, positive rating would be appreciated. If you think my opinions are dumb, positive rating also appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.